Pain is the greatest teacher. It carves through life like a blade, stripping away weakness, illusion, and comfort, leaving behind only what is real. Pain doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter. It doesn't pretend to care about your feelings. It is raw, unforgiving, and absolute, and yet it is also the most powerful force of transformation. The truth is, pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally if you are strong enough to embrace it. Most people run from pain. They try to numb it, distract themselves from it, or avoid it at all costs. They think that comfort is the goal, that an easy life is a good life. But nothing great has ever come from comfort. Nothing worth having has ever been built on ease. The strongest minds, the most unbreakable spirits, the most unstoppable forces this world has ever seen, they were all forged in fire. They were all shaped by pain. Pain has a way of showing you who you really are. When everything is going well, it's easy to be confident, to be strong, to believe in yourself. But when life hits you, when you lose, when you fail, when you get knocked down, that's when the truth comes out. Will you break or will you rise? Will you surrender or will you fight back? Pain doesn't just test you, it reveals you. It strips away the facade, the ego, the illusions, and forces you to look at yourself with brutal honesty. It's in those moments, the darkest, hardest moments, where growth happens. Not when you win, not when you're comfortable, not when things are easy. True transformation happens in the struggle. Every time you push through pain, you become stronger. Every time you refuse to quit, you become tougher. Every time you endure, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Look at the strongest people in history, the legends, the warriors, the icons. None of them had an easy road. None of them got to the top without sacrifice, without suffering, without pain. Their strength was built in the moments when they wanted to quit but didn't. Their greatness was shaped in the fire of adversity. The difference between them and everyone else wasn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It was their relationship with pain. They didn't run from it. They didn't fear it. They embraced it. They used it. Pain is power. Pain is the catalyst for change. When you experience pain, you have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can let it make you bitter, or you can let it make you better. Weak minds crumble under pain. Strong minds rise above it. Think about the hardest moments of your life, the moments when you felt like you couldn't go on, the moments when everything seemed hopeless, the moments when you thought you had nothing left, and yet you're still here. You survived. And if you look back, you'll realize something. The pain didn't destroy you. It shaped you. It made you stronger. It made you wiser. It made you better. But here's the thing. Pain is only useful if you learn from it, if you use it. Too many people waste their suffering. They experience hardship and let it define them, let it make them bitter, let it make them weak. They become victims of their own pain instead of using it as fuel. Every struggle, every loss, every failure is a lesson. It's an opportunity. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you learning? Are you using the pain to push yourself forward, to improve, to evolve? Or are you letting it hold you back? Pain is not meant to be feared. It is meant to be mastered. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who have avoided pain. They are the ones who have conquered it. They are the ones who have taken their suffering and turned it into strength. If you are in pain right now, if you are struggling, if you feel like giving up, understand this. This is your moment. This is the moment where you decide who you are. This is the moment where you either break or you rise. And I promise you, if you choose to rise, if you choose to fight, if you choose to push through no matter how hard it gets, you will come out on the other side stronger than you ever imagined. Pain is temporary. Strength is forever. The question is, what will you do with your pain? Will you let it define you, or will you use it to build the strongest version of yourself? Will you run from it, or will you embrace it and let it transform you? The choice is yours. Pain is the greatest teacher because it strips away illusions, exposing the raw truth of who you are. It doesn't flatter, it doesn't comfort, and it doesn't lie. It shows you exactly where you are weak, where you are lacking, and where you need to grow. While most people spend their lives running from pain, trying to avoid discomfort, or seeking shortcuts to success, those who truly rise above the rest understand that pain is not an obstacle. It is the path. It is the fire that forges strength, the chisel that shapes character, and the test that separates the weak from the strong. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced immense pain. Whether it was physical struggle, emotional hardship, or mental battles, pain was always present. It is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It has a way of exposing limitations, revealing weaknesses, and forcing you to confront your deepest fears. In those moments of suffering, you are given a choice: let the pain break you or let it build you. Most people crumble under the weight of pain because they see it as a punishment rather than a lesson. But those who understand its true nature do not resist it. They lean into it, they endure it, and they emerge from it transformed. Pain is inevitable in life. You will face setbacks, failures, betrayals, and disappointments. There's no escaping it. But while pain is guaranteed, growth is optional. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to pain. Some allow it to define them, turning them into victims, making them bitter and weak. Others use it as fuel, letting it sharpen them, toughen them, and make them unstoppable. The pain itself is not what destroys people, it is their unwillingness to learn from it. Every moment of suffering carries a lesson, a hidden key to something greater. But you have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to endure. Most people want the rewards without the struggle. They want success without sacrifice, strength without suffering, and wisdom without hardship. But that is not how life works. The strongest minds, the greatest warriors, the most unbreakable spirits, all of them were shaped in the fire of pain. They were pushed to their limits, tested beyond what they thought was possible, and forced to confront their deepest doubts. And yet they emerged stronger, sharper, and more resilient than before. Because pain does not just test you, it transforms you. Think about the moments in your life when you grew the most. They were not the easy moments, the comfortable moments, or the times when everything was going your way. No, the moments that shaped you, the moments that built your character, were the ones where you suffered, the ones where you struggled, the ones where you were pushed to the edge and had to decide whether to give up or keep going. Every scar you have is proof that you survived. Every hardship you endured is evidence of your strength. But survival is not enough. Pain is not just about making it through. It is about using it to become something greater. The weak allow pain to defeat them. They complain, they make excuses, and they retreat into comfort. But the strong take pain and turn it into power. They do not run from discomfort, they seek it out. They do not shy away from struggle, they embrace it. They understand that every challenge, every failure, every loss is an opportunity to grow. And so they welcome pain not as an enemy, but as a teacher. If you are in pain right now, understand this: it is not here to destroy you. It is here to refine you. It is here to strip away the parts of you that are weak, to expose the areas where you need to improve, and to force you to rise to the next level. But you have to make the choice. You have to decide whether you will allow pain to break you or build you. You have to decide whether you will be a victim of your suffering or a master of it. Pain is temporary, but the strength it gives you is permanent. No matter how hard it feels in the moment, no matter how much you want to quit, understand that if you keep going, if you endure, if you refuse to give up, you will come out on the other side transformed. You will look back at your struggles and realize they were not setbacks. They were setups. They were the moments that made you. The question is, will you embrace the pain and use it to become stronger, or will you let it control you? The choice is yours. Pain is the greatest teacher because it forces transformation. It is the one thing that strips away all illusions and shows you exactly who you are. In the comfort of an easy life, it is easy to pretend that everything is fine, that you are strong, that you are in control. But when pain arrives, when struggle becomes real, that is when the truth is exposed. Pain does not care about your excuses, your fears, or your doubts. It comes without warning, without apology, and without mercy. It does not negotiate. It does not compromise. It simply demands that you either rise or fall. Most people spend their lives avoiding pain, running from discomfort, and seeking the easiest possible path. They fear the struggle, they fear the suffering, and they fear the weight of adversity. But in doing so, they rob themselves of the very thing that can make them unstoppable. Pain is not here to break you. It is here to build you. It is here to teach you what no book, no mentor, and no amount of success ever could. It is in pain that strength is forged, resilience is developed, and greatness is born. Every setback, every failure, and every moment of suffering carries within it a lesson. But most people are too focused on their frustration, their disappointment, or their self-pity to see it. They let pain define them instead of using it to refine them. They blame their circumstances, the people around them, or even life itself for their suffering. But the truth is, pain does not discriminate. It comes for everyone. The only difference is how you respond to it. Do you let it turn you into a victim, or do you let it turn you into a warrior? The strongest people in the world, the ones who achieve greatness, are not the ones who have had an easy life. They are the ones who have been through the most hardship, the most struggle, and the most suffering. They are the ones who have been broken, beaten down, and tested beyond their limits but still refused to quit. They are the ones who took their pain and turned it into power. While others ran from pain, they embraced it. While others complained, they learned. While others gave up, they pushed forward. Pain is not the enemy. Weakness is. And the only way to destroy weakness is to go through pain, to face it head on, to endure it, and to come out stronger on the other side. Every moment of suffering is an opportunity to grow, to become better, to rise above what you were yesterday. But it is a choice. You either use pain to fuel you or you let it destroy you. The problem is that most people see pain as something negative. They associate it with loss, with failure, with disappointment. But pain is not negative. It is necessary. It is the fire that burns away the weakness inside you. It is the test that proves whether you truly want what you say you want. It is the process of transformation, the necessary suffering that turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Think about the hardest moments of your life, the moments where you felt like you couldn't keep going, where everything seemed hopeless, where you thought you had nothing left. And yet you survived, you endured, you made it through. Those moments did not destroy you, they strengthened you. They taught you lessons that no success ever could. They showed you what you were truly capable of. They prepared you for what comes next. But the key is to stop resisting pain and start embracing it. Stop seeing it as a curse and start seeing it as a gift. Because every struggle, every hardship, every ounce of suffering is making you stronger. It is sharpening you. It is turning you into the person you were meant to be. You do not grow in comfort. You grow in challenge. You grow in adversity. You grow when life pushes you to your limits and you refuse to break. Pain is the gateway to strength, to wisdom, and to true power. It is the thing that separates the weak from the strong, the ordinary from the legendary. The ones who rise to the top are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who suffered, who struggled, who were knocked down over and over again, but never stayed down. They are the ones who took their pain and turned it into motivation, into drive, into an unstoppable force. If you are facing pain right now, if you are struggling, if you feel like giving up, remember this. Pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. It is shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for something greater. But you have to be willing to endure it. You have to be willing to learn from it. You have to be willing to rise above it, because in the end, pain will either make you or break you, and the choice is yours. Pain is the greatest teacher because it forces growth in ways that comfort never can. It strips away everything superficial, revealing the raw truth of who you are. In comfort, you can hide from yourself, mask your weaknesses, and pretend that everything is fine. But when pain enters your life, there is no more pretending. It does not care about your excuses, your fears, or your insecurities. It demands a response. You either break under its weight or you rise above it. That choice determines everything. Most people fear pain. They avoid discomfort, resist struggle, and seek out the easiest possible path. They believe that happiness comes from eliminating hardship, that success should come without suffering, and that life should be fair. But reality does not work that way. No one who has ever achieved anything great has done so without facing pain. It is the fire that forges strength, the force that drives transformation, and the challenge that separates those who are merely interested in success from those who are truly committed to it. Pain has a way of revealing your true character. When everything is going well, it is easy to feel strong, confident, and in control. But when adversity strikes, when things go wrong, when failure hits you like a storm, that is when you discover who you really are. Do you crumble, or do you stand firm? Do you complain, or do you find a way to push forward? Pain does not just test you, it exposes you. It shows you what you are made of, where you need to improve, and whether you truly have the resilience to endure. Every great success story is built on a foundation of pain. The strongest people in history, the most resilient minds, the most unbreakable spirits, they did not get there by avoiding struggle. They got there because they embraced it. They took their suffering and turned it into strength. While others ran from pain, they leaned into it. While others complained, they learned from it. While others quit, they endured. That is the difference. It is not intelligence, talent, or luck that separates the great from the average. It is how they respond to pain. Most people allow pain to control them. They let it weaken them, define them, and turn them into victims. They use it as an excuse to give up, to lower their standards, to settle for less. But the truth is, pain is not what destroys people. It is their response to it. The weak see pain as something to avoid. The strong see it as something to use. They take every hardship, every failure, every setback, and turn it into fuel. They let pain sharpen them, harden them, and prepare them for greater challenges ahead. Pain is not meant to break you. It is meant to transform you. It forces you to adapt, to grow, to develop mental toughness. The more pain you endure, the more unstoppable you become. Every moment of suffering is an opportunity to build resilience. Every failure is a chance to learn. Every setback is a test to see how badly you really want it. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who never feel pain. They are the ones who feel it, embrace it, and keep moving forward no matter what. Think about the hardest moments of your life. The times when you felt lost, broken, or defeated. The times when you thought you had nothing left. And yet you are still here. You survived. And if you look back, you will realize that those painful moments shaped you in ways nothing else could. They forced you to develop strength, patience, and wisdom. They pushed you beyond your limits and showed you that you were capable of more than you thought. That is the power of pain. But pain is only useful if you learn from it. Too many people waste their suffering. They experience hardship but refuse to grow. They let pain make them bitter instead of better. Every challenge holds a lesson, but you have to be willing to see it. If you keep running from pain, you will never reach your full potential. If you keep avoiding struggle, you will never build true strength. The key is to stop resisting pain and start embracing it. Pain is temporary, but the strength it gives you is permanent. The moments of suffering you endure today will become the foundation of the person you are tomorrow. No matter how difficult it feels in the moment, remember that every second you push through is making you stronger. Every setback you overcome is turning you into someone unstoppable. The choice is yours. Will you let pain define you, or will you use it to build the strongest version of yourself? Pain is the greatest teacher because it demands growth. It strips away all distractions, all illusions, and forces you to confront the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. There is no hiding when pain arrives. It does not care about your excuses, your justifications, or your fears. It simply exists, pushing you to either break under its weight or rise above it. This is the defining moment in any person's life. Pain does not just test you, it reveals you. It exposes your weaknesses, highlights your strengths, and forces you to either evolve or remain stagnant. Most people spend their lives avoiding pain. They seek comfort, ease, and predictability, believing that happiness is the absence of suffering. They avoid discomfort at all costs, choosing the safe path, the familiar path, the one with the least resistance. But comfort is a liar. It tells you that you are doing enough when you are not. It keeps you trapped in mediocrity, convincing you that growth can happen without hardship. But nothing of value is ever achieved without struggle. Every person who has ever accomplished something great has faced pain, hardship, and failure. They did not reach their success because life was easy for them. They got there because they endured what others could not. Pain teaches you in ways that success never can. When things are going well, there is no urgency to improve, no need to push beyond your current limits. You feel satisfied, comfortable, and unchallenged. But when pain enters your life, whether through failure, loss, rejection, or hardship, it forces you to wake up. It demands that you change, adapt, and find a way to overcome. It shows you where you are weak and presents you with a choice to stay the same and suffer, or push forward and grow. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who endured suffering and refused to let it defeat them. They took their pain and transformed it into strength. They turned their failures into lessons, their setbacks into comebacks. Instead of running from pain, they embraced it, knowing that every struggle was an opportunity to become stronger, sharper, and more resilient. Pain is not something to be feared. It is something to be used. It is fuel. It is the force that sharpens your mind, strengthens your will, and prepares you for greater challenges ahead. Every time you endure pain, you grow. Every time you push through hardship, you develop resilience. This is why pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. It is the thing that forges unbreakable people, the thing that separates the weak from the strong, the ordinary from the extraordinary. Most people allow pain to define them in the wrong way. They experience hardship and let it break them. They see failure as proof that they are not good enough. They see struggle as a reason to quit. But the reality is that pain is neither good nor bad. It is simply a force. What it does to you depends entirely on how you respond to it. The weak use pain as an excuse. The strong use it as motivation. The weak allow pain to destroy them. The strong allow it to transform them. Think back to the hardest moments of your life. The moments that tested you, that broke you down, that made you question everything. At the time, it felt unbearable. You may have wanted to quit, to give up, to escape. But you didn't, you endured. And because of that, you became stronger. Those painful moments shaped you, prepared you, and turned you into who you are today. Without them, you would not have developed the strength, the wisdom, or the resilience that you now have. But the process never ends. Life will continue to challenge you. Pain will continue to test you, and every time it does, you will have the opportunity to grow again. This is why pain should never be avoided. It should be welcomed. It is the price you pay for greatness, the necessary suffering that leads to strength. If you run from it, you will never reach your full potential. But if you face it head on, if you embrace the struggle, you will become someone that nothing can break. Pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches you are permanent. It is the fire that burns away weakness, the hammer that shapes unshakable character. Every hardship you endure is a step closer to the person you are meant to become. The question is, will you let pain make you, or will you let it break you? The choice is always yours. Pain is the greatest teacher because it strips away all illusions and forces transformation. When everything is comfortable, it is easy to believe that growth happens naturally, that success is simply a result of effort, and that life rewards those who work hard. But pain exposes the truth. It shows what you are made of, where you are weak, and whether you truly have the will to rise above your circumstances. Pain does not lie. It does not deceive. It does not care about your excuses, your fears, or your complaints. It simply presents you with a choice: adapt and grow, or break and surrender. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid pain. They seek comfort, security, and predictability, believing that happiness is found in an easy life. They run from hardship, from struggle, from anything that threatens their sense of stability. But in doing so, they also run from growth. Nothing of value comes without struggle. Every great achievement, every moment of true progress is born from pain. It is the thing that forces a person to evolve, to become more than they were yesterday. Those who embrace pain become stronger, more disciplined, more unstoppable. Those who fear it remain trapped in mediocrity. Pain is not just something to endure. It is something to learn from. It teaches discipline, resilience, and self-mastery. It sharpens the mind, hardens the body, and strengthens the will. Every painful experience contains a lesson, a message, a challenge. The weak see pain as suffering. The strong see it as instruction. Pain forces you to confront reality, to face your limitations, to acknowledge the areas of your life that need improvement. It does not allow for delusion. It does not let you pretend that everything is fine when it is not. It demands that you change, that you evolve, that you step into the strongest version of yourself. The people who achieve the most in life are not the ones who never faced pain. They are the ones who faced it over and over again and refused to let it break them. They did not have easier paths, better circumstances, or more advantages. They simply made a different choice. Instead of running from pain, they leaned into it. Instead of fearing it, they embraced it. Instead of allowing it to weaken them, they used it as fuel. Every setback became a stepping stone. Every failure became a lesson. Every hardship became an opportunity to grow stronger. There is no escaping pain in life. It is inevitable. You will face failure, rejection, disappointment, and loss. You will experience moments where everything seems to fall apart, where you feel like you cannot go on. These are the defining moments. These are the moments that shape your destiny. Do you allow them to destroy you, or do you use them to build yourself into something greater? Do you become bitter, or do you become better? That choice is always yours. Pain is a gateway to strength, but only if you are willing to endure it. It is easy to give up when things get difficult. It is easy to lower your standards, to make excuses, to justify quitting. But every time you do, you reinforce weakness. Every time you avoid pain, you rob yourself of the opportunity to grow. Strength is built in suffering. Resilience is forged in struggle. The people who become unbreakable are the ones who refuse to be broken, no matter how much pain they endure. They understand that every hardship, every difficulty is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. Look back at your life. Think about the hardest moments you have faced. The times when you thought you would not make it, when everything seemed hopeless, when you were pushed to your limits, and yet you survived, you endured, you made it through. Those moments did not destroy you. They made you. They taught you lessons that no success ever could. They forced you to develop a level of strength and resilience that only comes from facing adversity. And if you truly understand this, you will stop fearing pain. You will stop avoiding struggle. You will start seeing it as what it truly is, the price of greatness. Most people waste their pain. They experience suffering, but do not learn from it. They go through hardship but come out weaker instead of stronger. They complain, they blame, they dwell on their misfortune. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is the test. The question is not whether you will face pain, but how you will respond to it. Will you use it to fuel your growth, or will you let it break you? Will you rise, or will you fall? The answer determines everything. Pain is the greatest teacher because it forces you to confront your weaknesses, to push past your limits, and to develop the strength to endure anything. It shows you who you really are. It does not reward the lazy, the fearful, or the weak. It rewards those who are willing to suffer for their goals, to endure hardship without breaking, to push forward when everything inside them screams to quit. That is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. That is what defines those who rise to the top. Nothing worth having comes without pain. It is the cost of strength, of discipline, of true mastery. It is the fire that burns away weakness, the storm that tests your foundation, the force that molds you into something greater. Every moment of suffering is an opportunity. Every challenge is a chance to rise. Every setback is a lesson in disguise. The question is not whether pain will come, it will. The only question is whether you will let it shape you into something unbreakable, or whether you will let it defeat you. The choice is yours. Pain is the greatest teacher because it forces a person to grow in ways that comfort never can. When everything is easy, when life is smooth, there is no urgency to change, no need to push beyond current limitations. People naturally seek comfort, stability, and security, believing that happiness comes from avoiding hardship. But true strength is never built in comfort. It is forged in difficulty, in the moments where everything feels impossible, in the moments where quitting seems like the easiest option. Pain strips away illusions, forces confrontation with reality, and demands either growth or surrender. It does not allow weakness to hide. It does not tolerate excuses. It simply presents a choice: adapt and evolve, or remain stuck and suffer. Every person who has ever achieved anything meaningful has endured significant pain. There is no greatness without struggle. There is no success without sacrifice. Every challenge, every setback, every failure is a test to see who is willing to keep going when things get hard. Most people give up at the first sign of discomfort. They stop pushing when it hurts, believing that pain is a signal to quit. But the strongest people in the world are the ones who keep going despite the pain. They understand that suffering is not the enemy. It is the price of strength, the price of discipline, the price of mastery. Those who embrace pain, who use it instead of running from it, are the ones who rise to the top. Pain does not just test a person, it transforms them, it forces growth, it reveals weakness and demands improvement. The moments of greatest pain are the moments when true character is built. When things are easy, it is easy to believe that strength exists. It is easy to feel confident, capable, and in control. But when pain arrives, when failure hits, when setbacks pile up, that is when the truth is revealed. A person's true nature is not determined by how they act when things are easy. It is determined by how they respond to hardship. Do they complain, make excuses, blame others, and give up? Or do they find a way forward, no matter how difficult the path may be? The strongest minds, the toughest warriors, the most resilient individuals are not born that way. They are shaped by pain. They have endured more suffering than most people can imagine. They have faced rejection, failure, betrayal, loss, and still refused to give in. They have been pushed to their limits and still found a way to keep going. That is what separates them. It is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the ability to endure pain without letting it break them. It is the mindset that refuses to see suffering as a reason to quit, but instead as an opportunity to grow stronger. Most people live their lives in fear of pain. They avoid challenges, refuse to take risks, and settle for an existence that is safe but unfulfilling. They never push themselves because they fear discomfort. They never chase their dreams because they fear failure. But in avoiding pain, they also avoid growth. They remain weak, fragile, untested. They live in a bubble of safety, never realizing that they are missing out on the greatest opportunity life has to offer, the opportunity to become something greater. Pain is a gift, but only for those who are willing to embrace it. It is the teacher that reveals hard truths, the fire that burns away weakness, the force that molds unbreakable individuals. Most people waste their pain. They experience suffering, but do not learn from it. They let it make them bitter instead of better. They see hardship as unfair, as punishment, as something to be avoided at all costs. But those who truly understand pain, those who see it for what it is, know that it is the key to greatness. Think about the hardest moments of life, the moments where everything seemed to be falling apart, the moments where nothing made sense. At the time, those moments felt unbearable. They felt like an ending. But in reality, they were the beginning of something greater. They were the moments that forced change, the moments that created strength, the moments that built resilience. Without those painful experiences, growth would have been impossible. The lessons learned in suffering are the lessons that last forever. Most people believe that avoiding pain is the goal. They think that a life without struggle is a life of happiness. But the truth is, a life without struggle is a life without meaning. The most fulfilling moments, the deepest sense of accomplishment, the greatest successes all come from overcoming difficulty. The best version of any person is not the version that has never suffered. It is the version that has been tested, that has been broken, and has still found a way to rise. Pain is not meant to destroy. It is meant to shape. It is meant to challenge, to strengthen, to teach. Every hardship is an opportunity to become more. Every failure is a lesson in disguise. Every setback is a test to see how much a person truly wants what they say they want. There is no escaping pain in life, but there is a choice in how it is used. Let it make you bitter, or let it make you stronger. Let it hold you back, or let it push you forward. Let it define you as weak, or use it to become unbreakable. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not in how much pain they experience, but in how they respond to it. Some allow pain to destroy them, to keep them from trying again, to convince them that they are not good enough. Others take that same pain and turn it into fuel. They let it drive them. Let it motivate them. Let it transform them into something unstoppable. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The strongest individuals are not those who never face pain, but those who use it to become stronger than they ever thought possible. Pain is an unavoidable part of life, and yet it remains the most valuable teacher anyone can have. It strips away comfort, exposes weaknesses, and forces people to confront the reality of who they truly are. When everything is going well, there is no urgency to change, no need to push beyond perceived limitations. Comfort breeds stagnation, and without adversity, there is no real growth. Pain disrupts this illusion of ease and presents a simple choice: either break under the pressure or use it as fuel to rise stronger than ever before. It is in the face of hardship that true character is revealed, and those who understand this do not fear pain, they embrace it. Most people spend their lives running from pain, avoiding discomfort, and seeking the easiest path. They believe that happiness is found in a life free from struggle, yet paradoxically, this avoidance only leads to weakness, dissatisfaction, and a lack of fulfillment. Those who have never faced hardship lack resilience. They crumble under the slightest pressure because they have never been tested. But those who have endured suffering, who have faced setbacks, failures, and disappointments, develop a kind of strength that cannot be taught in any other way. Pain is not the enemy, it is the crucible that refines the strongest among us. Every great achievement in history has been built on a foundation of pain. The most successful individuals in the world did not reach the top by avoiding struggle. They got there because they were willing to endure more pain than others, to sacrifice comfort, to suffer for their vision. They understood that pain is not a signal to stop, it is a signal to grow. It is life's way of testing how badly someone wants something. Those who cannot endure it will give up. Those who can will rise above everyone else. Pain teaches discipline. It forces people to develop the mental toughness required to keep moving forward when everything inside them screams to quit. It eliminates the weakness of instant gratification and replaces it with long-term resilience. A person who has suffered knows the value of hard work because they have felt the cost of failure. They do not take success for granted because they understand what it takes to achieve it. Pain sharpens the mind, hardens the will, and eliminates unnecessary distractions. It provides clarity. When someone is in pain, their focus is absolute. They either find a way through it or they let it consume them. Beyond discipline, pain builds resilience. Life is unpredictable and no one is immune to hardship. There will be moments when everything falls apart, when failures seem insurmountable, when nothing goes according to plan. In those moments, the ones who have been tested by pain will endure. They will not panic. They will not break because they have already been through worse. They have learned how to stand up after falling, how to rebuild when everything has been lost, how to keep moving forward no matter what obstacles arise. Resilience is not something people are born with. It is something that is forged through suffering. The more pain a person has faced, the stronger they become. Pain also eliminates excuses. It forces people to take accountability for their actions, for their circumstances, and for their future. There is no hiding from it. It does not care about justifications, complaints, or self-pity. It simply presents reality in its rawest form. A person who has endured true hardship knows that no excuse can change their situation. Only action can. They understand that dwelling on pain does nothing, but using it as motivation changes everything. Pain removes the option of passivity. It demands a response. It forces movement, change, and transformation. There is a reason why the most inspiring stories are those of people who have faced incredible adversity and come out stronger. The hero's journey is always one of struggle, pain, and triumph. No one is inspired by an easy life. No one respects someone who has never had to fight for anything. True greatness comes from overcoming, from enduring when it seems impossible, from refusing to break under pressure. The strongest people are not the ones who have never suffered. They are the ones who have suffered the most and have used it to become unstoppable. Think about the hardest moments of life. The moments where it felt like nothing would ever get better. The moments of heartbreak, loss, rejection, failure. At the time, those moments felt unbearable. But looking back, they were the moments that forced growth. They created wisdom, strength, resilience. Without them, the person standing today would not exist. Pain does not take away, it gives. It gives perspective, experience, and an unshakable foundation. It teaches lessons that comfort never could. It forces evolution. Those who fear pain will never reach their full potential. They will always stay within the limits of their comfort zone, never pushing beyond what is safe, never taking the risks necessary for greatness. But those who embrace pain, who see it as the powerful teacher that it is, will achieve things that others only dream of. They will walk through fire and come out stronger. They will use every hardship as fuel, every setback as a lesson, every failure as a stepping stone. Pain is inevitable. No one can escape it. But suffering is a choice. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is how they respond to pain. Some let it break them, while others use it to build something unshakable. The world does not belong to those who have never suffered. It belongs to those who have suffered, learned, adapted, and refused to quit. Pain is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of transformation.